Did you grow up in Canada? Were you alive in the 90s? Did you love YTV? Fuck yeah, you did!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Not to smooth the transition to world. Welcome to You, Me, and YTV live! Actually, light, as it says there. And I am joined today with a very special guest. For the first time ever on the show, let me introduce you to Nezbit.
Well, hey, everybody. Nice to meet you.
What's going on, Nezbit?
Oh, I'm doing great, Ryan. Having a good old day. Had some lunch. Feeling good.
Awesome. Well, I'm just going to turn this down just a sec because I think our voices are killing the internet. All right. Nezbit, feeling good today. Are you feeling as good as I look?
Well, Ryan, I think you're looking pretty snappy in your cool clothes. And, well, no matter what you wear, it's going to match with something.
Oh, my. What have we done? All right. So today on the program, we're going to be answering some questions based on the people that asked them and stuff like that. So, Nezbit, give me a little backstory. Where are you from?
Oh, gosh. Well, you know, I was born out in Maine, and I didn't really care for the life out there. It was a little too boring.
You're the first puppet to ever appear on You, Me, and YTV. Despite the fact we have full interviews with Mr. Snid himself, you are the first puppet to ever appear on You, Me, and YTV as an original cast member.
Mr. Snid, you know, I auditioned for that job. I didn't get it. He and I went to high school together. I thought for sure I'd get it because he wasn't that good. But, you know, he got better, and I got the job, and he got that cheddar. So good for Snit.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to be bringing up the questions. I guess I should have did that before, but we were a little preoccupied with making sure your head stayed on. You had a lot of fun in the 60s.
I most surely did, Ryan. I most certainly did.
So
We'll get into that, though.
So we got like a Jack situation with you, like Robin Williams Jack, where basically you look like a child, but you're an old ass man. Like it's like a reverse Jack. You know, you start out as it's more like a Benjamin Button situation.
Ryan, I've seen a lot of stuff. I don't know who Benjamin Button is, but I reckon he's a nice man. As long as he's got good manners, he's welcome at my table anytime.
He takes the form of Brad Pitt.
Well, I don't want to be standing next to Brad Pitt. I mean, that man's a hunky man there. The ladies really like him. I reckon I wouldn't have much of a chance.
All right, so I finally pulled up these fan questions. Let's get to those right now. And then I'll try to follow the live feed as well. Make sure we name and listen to all that stuff. And if anyone's voices is too loud or mine's not loud or his is too loud, let us know because we're playing this by ear. Okay, so number one, Sean-Marie Desjardins. Says,
that's one of them French names, eh?
Yes. Well, she was asking, why don't we talk about Shirley Holmes today? And because I mentioned, hey, is there any shows that anybody wants us to talk about? And Shirley Holmes was an amazing show. I believe it was filmed in middle Canada. And Meredith Henderson, the actress who plays Shirley Holmes, she originates from Ottawa.
She's a beautiful lady. Very nice.
Yes. Yeah, beautiful lady. Very, very, very kind. Have you ever seen Shirley Holmes there, Nezbit?
Oh, well, you know, I probably watched it while I was doing some dishes, but I followed it along for a couple years, yeah.
Okay, well, what I remember about Shirley Holmes is basically like you get a sense that this is one smart kid. And those shows were willing to put these kids in danger. I think in the first episode, because Shirley was going to foil one of the teenagers' plans and stuff like that, they tried to knock her out and leave her in a burning building.
Well, I reckon that's a Me Too moment if I've ever heard one, at least an abusive one of women. I don't approve of that at all.
No, not at all. Other things I remember about Shirley Holmes. Hang on a sec. I'm just going to turn my mic up. Other things about Shirley Holmes that I remember fondly is that basically both the friendship between Shirley and Beau, her Watson-type character, was very admirable. I really felt that they had a genuine friendship both on and off camera, and they did. And it's another.
Is Beau a dog or something?
No, Beau is not a dog. Beau is her best friend.
Oh, he's a fella. Okay.
Yes. He's appeared in other movies. In fact, I've seen him in other movies such as American Pie Presents The Naked Mile and Beta House, and I didn't even realize it was him. So he's done a bunch of other stuff, and it's been really great. Meredith Henderson has been on our show before. I don't think you've seen that episode, Nezbit, but we have a 2-part special episode. We talk about the entire series, her perspective, her favorite episode. So make sure you guys check that out. That's from You, Me, and YTV Season 2. Nezbit, what's your favorite episode of You, Me, and YTV so far?
Well, Ryan and I watch for the banter. I always enjoy what you have to say. And, I like the ones where you go way back in time. And I love when you talk to that cast of student bodies. Real nice folks there.
That's true. We did talk to the cast of student bodies. In fact, interesting thing about that is that we also, I hosted their reunion panel at Fan Expo a few years ago.
Yes, you did. And you were so nervous. Oh, I remember that. He stayed up all night. I thought he was going to cry, but he did a great job.
Thank you very much. I was more nervous. Yeah, it's kind of weird when you host something live. Like, I've played in bands for years, but this is a whole different bag. They're not there to see me. They are there to see student bodies. So it's your job to get up there, hype the audience up, and shut the hell up as soon as possible.
Yeah, you got to know that it's not about you. And, you're very humble. You approve of those folks, those fine, fine folks, and very supportive. And I think they all had a great time, and the audience loved it. You could tell they had a real impact on the Canadian teens, and probably abroad as well.
Well, we are we're trying. Well, we're living in a very strange situation in the world right now, and we definitely want to try to do the same thing in a convention a little closer with another cast from another show, a certain radioactive cast. We've been, working on that.
And don't get me started on Radioactive. I love that show too.
Oh yeah, what's your favorite episode of Radioactive?
Oh, probably the one where Morgan gives up animal products. I thought that was a fine idea. I wanted to go vegan right that same day.
All right. Friend of the show, Rocky Buckland, is asking, and I got to go a little closer into this one, is that, okay, so just found out that the final Fairly Odd Parents movie ends where Timmy dies in a volcano and comes back to life as a fairy and is still dating Trixie. That could be worth talking about. Well, it could be worth talking about, Rocky, if we had the slightest clue what the hell you were talking about. I've seen some Fairly Odd Parents episodes, but I have not seen that one. But something that really stood out in my mind from the few episodes of Fairly Odd Parents I saw was that the dad from Fairly Odd Parents loves eggnog just as much as I do. And I remember seeing that, and I'm just like, he's just a psycho. He's hiding in the attic. He's like, more eggnog, more eggnog. And I'm like, I think I found my spirit animal.
More eggnog, eh? I like that there coconut eggnog, eh? That's the news for me at my house.
Yes. News indeed.
Okay. You got some more news?
Yeah, Nezbit. Okay, so another one. Chris Knight saying, let's talk about how Canadian parents didn't like any of the show with the word war. Oh, didn't like a show with the word war. And if they had to change the name, some shows in Canada, like Beast Wars to Beasties and War Planets to Shadow Raiders. Interesting thing about Shadow Raiders there, Chris, is that I have never seen Shadow Raiders until the You, Me, and YTV audience kept talking about it. And then, sure enough, I looked it up. And sure enough, yes, the same animation of Reboot, the same studio that brought you Reboot, Transformers Beast Wars brought this Shadow Raiders 1 as well. And it looks awesome. In fact, there's a big blue character that looks like Bob on steroids. I love it. I think I've only seen the trailers, but I think it's super cool. And I'd like to thank you guys for bringing that attention. Coming to your question, or let's just talk about that. Yes, it is true that Canada did you know this, Nezbit, that the parents in Canada freaked out? They're like, we don't want the word war in the title. So
well, come on now. It's not meant in a violent way, I bet.
Well, it is a little bit. I mean, Beast Wars, but we're talking about robots fighting robots.
Well, what about Cupcake Wars? They gonna sue them or something? Seems a little much for me.
Yeah, I don't think it was necessary. It didn't. What would they have called War of the Worlds without War of the Worlds? Like
a Soup of the Worlds, or a Book Club of the Worlds, or Boots? Undergarments and Light Bulb of the
Undergarments
Worlds.
of the World. Yeah, so it is true that some Canadian parents did not like that, and as a result, instead of Beast Wars, we had Beasties.
That just sounds like candy. I don't get it.
Yes. I miss Beasties. I miss going to the Depiner and be able to buy a good bag of Beasties without wearing a mask and gloves.
Oh,
All right.
those are the days.
Here's another one. Okay, so
Hey, there's a cat coming in
Willow
here.
Schuyler asked, "How about an update? How about an update of the careers of some of the hosts, and maybe even a chat with PJ Phil and the Quizmaster from Uh-Oh?" Well, here's the thing. Willow, is that we did talk to PJ Phil very recently. In fact, last week. And
You could say it was a pretty fresh conversation with PJ Freshfield, yes.
yes, it was. And we have a 2-hour conversation. We had a chat previously from a few years ago when I met him at Fan Expo, many moons ago. But we also have a 2-hour chat where we go into the history of Dark Knight, how he got the show, and a bunch of other really fun stuff. And had the pandemic not been happening, we would have just invited Phil right here and would have had him in person, would have high-fived, would have been amazing.
Oh, yeah, it'd been a fine old time. He's a real fun man, that Phil.
Yes, Phil is a wonderful, wonderful dude. I got to remember to stand a little farther over here because I'm looking at the monitor.
Are you on a two-shot
I'm getting
right now?
cut off. Rocky Buckland says, "Well done, Nezbit." Well, Nezbit's going to be a consummate on You Mean YTV. You are my snit, my Warnchester grog. You are the wind beneath my wings.
Right, I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad I beat everybody else on the audition. And watch, there's a cat that's going to be coming up on my knees. Oh, hi, kitty. How's it going? This here's Hattie, everybody. She's a real fine cat. Real nice.
Yep. Hattie, how about you read one of these questions? Okay. All right there. Well, we could, no, okay. So,
She's
Chris...
climbing on the bookshelf there.
Oh, yeah. So Chris Drysdale is asking, good friend of the show, Chris Drysdale. He's got a twin brother, and he's a really cool dude. We could talk about Reboot the TV show and how bad
boys.
new Reboot was. Here's the thing: there's a reboot of the show Reboot. Oh, we're not going to cut away from the kitty.
Oh, hi there, cat.
Yeah, there.
Walking around, spreading the good news.
Okay, so this is happening. This is amazing. So the thing about the show Reboot is that there's a show called Reboot the Guardian Code. And I got to be honest with you, I have not seen Reboot the Guardian Code, and I have no business judging it just yet because I haven't seen it. But for what I see in the trailers is that they're strongly doing what this recent iteration of Jumanji was with The Rock, where kids go into the game. Kind of like Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad 20 years before that, like the idea of kids going into a game. And I don't know. I mean, someone told me it's pretty cool, and other people have told me it's a trash fire. So I'm not entirely sure. Nezbit, what do you think?
I think it's never good when trash catches on fire. A couple of kids a few weeks ago did that on my front porch, and I said, you're lucky that's not crap, because I got some crap I could throw right back at you. I'm ready. What was the question?
Another thing. Well, Nezbit, you were kind of put off by the new on Apple TV. You did not appreciate the new reboot of Ghost Rider.
No, I was a big fan of the old-fashioned Ghost Rider, with that talented Sheldon Turnipseed, who I thought was the next Idris Elba or Alec Baldwin. And, he kind of just went off into obscurity. The other cast was very good as well. I was a fan of the song. I used to ask my parents to sing that to me instead of the birthday song. I'd be like, Mom and Dad, just sing Ghost Rider, word! And then I'd blow out my candles. Not a fan of the new one, though. I don't know what that's about. It looks kind of inauthentic to me.
Nezbit, how about for a special You Me and YTV special debut, you rap a little bit of that Lenny Frazier original song from Ghost Rider?
I'd love to. I'm glad you asked because I was probably just going to do it anyway. This makes it a little less uncomfortable for everybody. Now, in 3, 2, 1. When obstacles appear that you can't step around, just climb on up and over and cruise on down. And when the going gets tough and you're knocked off track, oh, I do love that song. And hold it, send a hand up high. Be a friend to your friend. Don't be afraid to cry. Well, that's pretty good advice for nowadays, I'd say. I'd wager a lot of people are being good friends now.
Amazing, Nezbit. Amazing. All right, Jenny Watson brings up the show Big Wolf on Campus.
Oh, Jenny Watson. She's a lovely lass.
Yeah, she is. She sends you fan mail. Like, I think like she's your biggest fan, I think.
Well, Jenny, I'm quite happy. Love you very, very much.
She didn't she's never seen you on this show before, but she has followed your rap career.
Well, I kind of wish it went a little farther because I still live in a pretty mediocre house.
Well, who knows? Maybe people will abandon their sheds in the line of wake of the fear of cooties, and maybe you could just shack up there like squatters' rights.
Yeah, I might start a Patreon, start asking people to go sign up, and I'm just kidding. I'll just wait it out.
All right. Let's go for another one. It's really hard to read with sunglasses on. This was a bad idea.
That's all right.
I'm wondering if there's any reality obscure Canadian produced shows YTV aired from their debut in the mid '90s still exist. Really obscure produced shows. Well, they exist. Oh my goodness. There's a lot more to read there. Well, Mark David, you spent a lot of time writing this out, so I'm going to spend a lot of time reading this, and I'm going to read it as fast as I can. I'm wondering if there's any obscure Canadian-produced TV shows that aired from their debut until the mid '90s still exist. Well, I think they exist on YouTube, there, pal. This would include shows like Snell Grove Snail. I've never heard of that.
The heck is that?
The Waterville Gang, Pollywog, Time to Read, and countless others. It would be great to see them again. Another obscure show, my goodness. Another obscure show I'm wondering about is Tilt 23 and a half. It briefly aired on YTV in 1993 and gave viewers an inside look at the wacky and interesting things that happened around the world. It reportedly had quite an international following and aired in the 100 different countries. Oh my God. That is more words than I've read in weeks. I'm a podcast listener.
That's not crock of crap. You know darn well you read books like crazy. This man reads all the time.
I do, but I don't read well. I read See Spot Run and or The Riveting Tale, Grover's First Day of School.
Oh, that's good. I love Grover.
Yes. Well, as far as some of those old shows, the only time they exist is usually it's about they exist in on YouTube mostly, and people like Retro Ontario and a bunch of other YouTube pages have kept them alive. In fact, me and Nezbit went on a binge a few weeks ago.
Sure did.
Yeah, we were watching Polka Dot Door, and what's another weird one that we were seeing?
Oh, we were watching Today's Special, and
that takes place at night, which is kind of weird. Like, why does Today's Special take place at night? But whatever.
Very true. Very. We also delved into the old show Dear Aunt Agnes.
Yeah, that was the weirdest one. But God, I think there's an app or a YouTube page called Encore, like ENCORE, and they have Ready or Not and a bunch of other shows like that. So they exist somewhere. But here's the thing, everybody, is that, and the reason why this web series has started up is because I find that Canada itself isn't honoring the golden age of television, which was the late 90s to late 90s. 10 golden years, amazing programming, amazing original programming for the efforts of YTV, not You Mean YTV. You Mean YTV is what we do to honor those times and stuff like that. I think it's important that people put as much time and dedication into something to honor the effort that art was created with in the first place, I find.
Yeah, they gave us all such great entertainment growing up. It only makes sense.
Even though, like, so what decade were you born in, though? I'm trying to figure this out.
Well, I was a 60s baby.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I was born in I was a baby. No, I was born like 50, I'd say 58.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I just had a moment there. I was born in 1958. That makes me, whatever, how old that makes a person. Yes. I'm in my 50s.
Oh.
Something like that. I don't think I can count real good right now. I'm on the spot.
All right, so let's talk about Breaker High, which Electra Doolittle is asking us to talk about. Electra Doolittle, Breaker High, great show. One of the first jobs of a young Ryan Gosling.
Oh, he's a fine actor.
Yeah, fine actor. If you love films like Drive, he's just killing it. I mean, he was in that Academy Award-winning movie. Oh, wait, no, it didn't. I was going to say La La Land, and I'm like, nope.
We all know what happened there.
Yeah, the guy read the wrong name.
Yeah.
But they won an Academy Award for a few minutes. But he's been in really great stuff. Love Ryan Gosling over here. We love Ryan Reynolds. His first job was in a show called The Odyssey. And that entire series you can watch on YouTube right now. And I did before I interviewed the gentleman who played the bad guy, Finger. So basically, Finger and Ryan Reynolds, they were the two bad guys. This dude named Mark, great guy. Looked that interview up. That's really great. He was also in a show I love called The Bots Master. And that was one of the few shows that they took and dubbed from France. You know, usually it's from Japan, usually it's from somewhere else, but they took it from France, and that's quite amazing. There's a cat attacking your leg. I'm trying not to laugh.
That's all right. She likes this, a good old resting, relaxing chair.
Love that kind of stuff. And Sarah Rose mentions My Hometown, another show that's so many people had their first starts on, including Jay Baruchel.
The talented Jay Baruchel.
Before he started kicking a bunch of butt in Popular Mechanics for Kids with Eliza Cuthbert. That's how I pronounce her name. Right?
Alicia Cuthbert from TV's 24 and The Ranch and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, quite amazing. So before that, it was My Hometown. And right now, we're going to go up to the live stream and see what people have been seeing about us. Because in the meantime, holy crap, Rocky's asked a bunch of questions.
Well, hi there, Rocky.
Rocky, you're the best.
And them Drysdale brothers are fine folks, too.
Yep. And, all right. So what I'll say about this first question is probably Rocky loves Emily, like in a...
From that movie, Three Ninjas.
Yep, Three Ninjas.
Show off. He said,
Right.
I'm not showing off, I'm playing basketball.
Rocky Buckland says another actor from Breaker High who was also in The Odyssey is Tyler Labine. And he's also been around a lot, too, in so many things. It's really interesting, you know? Like, sometimes when you're just having your start... I'm going to bring up The Odyssey again. Devon Sawa, one of his first jobs was on The Odyssey.
Good old Devon Sawa.
And Jewel State and all this other stuff. So we are in the process of recording more shows. We want to record more interviews. But here's the thing, is that I don't think anybody really feels like getting camera ready, getting in front of there. Like, we're going to give people time. You know, we send requests and we cross our fingers and we hope it all works out fine. But I don't blame, like, if no one's in the headspace right now. So you mean YTV, if season 3 gets a little delayed, it's because, even us included, sometimes we don't even feel like killing ourselves editing to get it out right now because we'd rather interact with you guys. I think a few weeks of this would be fun. I think me, you versus the world, just talking to the folks, having some fun. I'm having a blast. I'm looking in your dark, lifeless eyes and just, you know, falling in love.
Lifeless. No.
Falling in love all over again.
No, what you're saying is very interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, what else we got going on in this broadcast? We're gonna make sure we try to read everybody's. It's just a bunch of comments about Nezbit and his awesomeness. And...
Oh, thanks, everybody. I'm glad to be here.
All right. Nezbit, what was your favorite YTV show, do you think?
Oh, that's a tough old question. Oh, my goodness, my favorite YTV show. You know, I like that, I'd say probably a cross between You Can't Do That on Television and Uh-Oh.
Oh, sorry. I was really trying to get the questions queued up and stuff like that. What about Uh-Oh and You Can't Do That on Television did you like?
Well, I liked all that slimy goo, you know, because sometimes you're having a bad day and you don't feel like taking a shower, so you turn on You Can't Do That on Television and you see that slimy goo and it almost feels like you kind of did have a shower. And the soap was mixed in.
That's really true, Nezbit. All right.
I'm joking, by the way. I do always have a shower, including today.
Yes, it makes you fall to pieces, but hygiene is a very, very important thing.
It is. Wash your hands and smell good, you know, but use cruelty-free products. If it's tested on animals, don't go near it.
All right, I have everyone in the world calling me for some reason, so we are going to call it a day right now, but it's been a pleasure doing Yumi and YTV Live, talking to each and every one of you. It's been amazing. So what we're going to do now is, Nezbit,
yes.
Before we go, give the people some really good common sense knowledge about how to live the best way possible in the circumstances we're in.
Well, first and foremost, I'd say be kind. Be nice to everybody. Wash your hands all the time. Do it for 20 seconds, like all the people show you. Make it look like your two hands are shooting a porno movie together, just all over each other.
Good
Rub, rub,
God.
rub. Well, it's true. And, go check in on people, see how they're doing, if you can help somebody in a reasonable way. But keep safe, stay at home, and, be nice and wash your puppy's feet when they come in, not with bleach, for the love of God.
Nesbit, I noticed that your head's falling off a bit.
Oh, well, how about like this?
Oh, that's much better, Nesbit.
All right, I get a little excited when I'm talking about washing hands.
You just lose your head.
I do. Whee! I learned that last year.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much for watching You, Me, and YTV live, but in this case, light, because we couldn't find the V.
I just saw that.
Because we couldn't find the V. You and Me and YTV light.
That's good, Ryan. That's good.
All right. I'm Ryan Stick. This is Nezbit.
Bye.
And you've been watching You, Me, and YTV light. Thank you very much. Episode 1, we will be back next week. And if not, make sure you check for updates on the page. Like, follow, share, all that stuff. Because enthusiasm is like oxygen when it comes to people who do things just for fun. So have a great night, everybody. We'll see you next week. Thanks very much for watching. Take it easy.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for stopping by.
All right, we're off.